Hello and welcome to Business Edition. In this program, we feature an interview with the General Manager of Tigo, Diego Gutierrez, as we talk about the consumer impact following the partnership between Facebook and Tigo with the free Facebook services in the country, which will also be in Kiswahili. Our entrepreneur this week is Hassanan Kimji. He's into the creative designing business. And in Brand Talk today, we feature Unilever. My name is Yvonne Msemebo saying welcome to Business Edition. With me, I have Diego Gutierrez. He's the General Manager of Tigo, Tanzania. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Yvonne. Thank you.
Okay.
And welcome again.
It's good to have you back. Very exciting period for Tanzanians when it comes to innovation in the ICT sector. Tigo, you ventured into partnership with Facebook. What led to this partnership?
Well, several things. As you know, Tigo has been leading in innovation for a very long time in this country. And we believe that we need to provide the most large number of tools for people to access the internet. The consumption of data and the absorption of internet has been enormous in the last years. I mean, it's every year we see a higher and a higher uptake of data services. However, of course, people need the incentive to access the internet for the first time. We believe that social media is one of the greatest tools in order to get people to have their first internet experience. And we started talking with Facebook last year as a group. Facebook is aligned with our strategy of driving internet penetration. And we partnered in order to achieve several things. One of them, of course, was to get more people to use internet, and that's why we decided to go with a scheme by which people can go into Facebook for free. And this is really for free. There are no hidden charges. There is absolutely not one shilling that is charged for people to browse Facebook. However, that came together with something which is probably much more meaningful, which is we work together with Facebook. Our people were in California in Facebook offices working with them, and they came here to develop the Swahili interface, which is available to everyone, but we were active participants of that development. We believe that this is a great step forward, because it clearly in Tanzania there are still several people that feel more comfortable in using Swahili rather than English. And of course, if these people can now have an interface to access the internet in Swahili and be able to talk with other people, almost 1.3 billion Facebook users in the world, so they can communicate with these other people. It's their first internet experience, you know. Okay. And then you get an email, then you start browsing, and that's how you enter into this world.
You say it's completely free of charge.
Yes.
Well, what are you getting out of this?
Well, basically,
because there are expenses going to make sure that that service is available.
Yeah, absolutely. But we believe it's an investment in the future. We believe that by doing this, our subscribers are not only going to be more loyal to us, because obviously they can see the value of this, but obviously this is going to create a habit in our subscribers of usage of data. And like I said, they're going to start to adopt more and more and more services. And for us, Facebook is also a great communication tool to reach our subscribers. We are the biggest Facebook page in Tanzania. We have the largest pool of Facebook fans. Facebook has become right now one of our most important channels to communicate with our subscribers. We are doing live customer service through Facebook. People can write to us with questions, with problems, and we reply immediately. We've been recognized internationally for this activity. So for us, it's strategic.
Okay, so when you started, the number of subscribers that have grown over the period of months since the service started, how much are we looking at, and which parts of the country? Is it countrywide? Is it particular country parts of the country?
Well,
and who's really into it? Now?
Of course, I cannot disclose exact figures, because obviously we're a public company. So I'm sure you
But the
understand
numbers
that.
have been growing.
But the numbers have been growing significantly. We've seen an incredible uptake of subscribers. We've received so much feedback from our users in regards of how happy they are with this promotion. So obviously we are very happy with the results. We think that that it's the beginning of something very big.
And is it the students who are using it mostly? Are we looking at businesses as well, entrepreneurs? Are they advertising things to Facebook?
You would be surprised.
Who
You
are
would
we
be
looking at?
surprised. We have people from all parts of the country. Obviously, in the coastal area at this point, there's a larger concentration of people, and the uptake of data services has been faster. However, we've been busy rolling out our internet service to the entire country and rolling out our network to areas where a few years ago we had a very small presence, and now we can say that we are seeing a very accelerated uptake of internet also in other areas of the country. And to be honest with you, it's not only young people. I mean, you would be surprised about people in all ages are going into this new world.
Okay, so what's the next step after this? You know, you've launched a service, so what should we expect next?
Well, the next step is to continue offering the most innovative services, both in data, voice, and also in mobile financial services, because as you know, Tigo Pesa has consolidated in a very reliable and a popular service. Many people in the country are using it. So we aim to continue being innovators. This year we've done a lot of first things. We've been the first ones to do, for example, border-to-border money transfers from Tanzania to Rwanda. We've launched the Facebook initiative, developed the Swahili interface together with Facebook. We've been the first ones in East Africa to do interoperability between mobile money wallets with other operators here in the country. So Tigo has been at the forefront of innovation. We tend to continue doing that.
And you talked about the border-to-border service. How does this? What has the response been so far? Is it picking up?
Well, it's picking up, and some practical examples. For example, people that have jobs that require them to move between borders. For example, we've seen a very interesting case of truck drivers that before they needed to take cash, because obviously mobile Tigo Pesa they could use only inside the country, but when they crossed the border, that was not useful anymore. So they had the obligation to take cash. Now they just do a transfer, they convert it to the money in that country, and they get the money out there. So I mean, there are a lot of practical examples like this that we've seen, and we're very happy that we can contribute to the economical development.
You said that one of the plans that you had was increasing the speed of connectivity, and you started a business unit for the corporate clients. How does this work?
Well, we started Tigo Business, which is our corporate unit. It's a separate unit, and we're catering medium, small, and large corporations, and catering all their needs. You know that today corporations, they don't want to be dealing with several suppliers. They just want to work with one supplier, which gives them integral solutions of internet, voice, transmission, and data storage. So we're venturing into that field. I think that's an area in which Tigo has not been focused in the past, and now we're going into that direction, and we've had some very initial good results, because we have a lot of loyal customers. A lot of them, people that started with us young, now they're going into the corporate world, and they want to continue with Tigo. So they're happy to see that we are following their needs, which are different now than what they were 5 or 6 or 7 years ago when they were younger. And these people are calling us and using our corporate services, so it's great. I mean, we're very happy with the initial result.
What are the challenges that you think that companies like yours are facing that really need to be addressed by the government? And when we compare Tanzania to our neighboring countries, where do you think we stand in terms of our services and products in the mobile services?
Well, I have to say that Tanzania overall is a very friendly environment.
Because it seems so many companies want to come and invest in this.
Yeah. It is there's a friendly environment in Tanzania. It's a stable country. It's a country that has a a very interesting growth. And so obviously there's a lot of companies that are looking at Tanzania to invest and to put their hubs. Obviously, as private investors in the country, we need certain stability in regards to policy making, in regards to taxation, incentives to continue the investment. We need to see the return on long business cases. And not to be every year with surprises or changes. But I think we're going there. I think there's a very important work in cooperation between the public and private sector, specifically in telecommunications. We've done some very interesting projects together with the Ministry of Communication, with other stakeholders, with the regulator and UCSAF, in order to roll out rural communication. So we are starting to see a very interesting cooperation between the public and private sector. Of course, there's a lot to do yet, but we're committed to the country. We're committed to continue to invest in the country. We see Tanzania as one of our most important and relevant markets. So Tigo is here to stay, here to invest, and to support the economical and social growth of the country.
And in the area of innovation and services, are we keeping abreast with what's going on in the Western world?
I have to tell you that
the trend, what does it show?
The fact that mobile telecommunication is so relevant in this part of the world due to the lack of fixed networks, I think that there's even more innovation in this sector than in the Western world. I think that operators have the opportunity to provide a bigger range of services. So we have nothing to envy to the Western world in terms of what's happening in the telecom sector. I mean, we're at the front line of technology, at the front line of innovation. The quality of the networks in Tanzania is great. I mean, people can access the networks almost in every place of the country. So I would say that actually, even in some areas like mobile financial services, Tanzania is leading the way. East Africa right now is an example to the world in mobile financial services.
Welcome back to Business Edition, and now in the Entrepreneur today, I have with me Hasnain Kimji, and he is the Creative and Managing Director at Identity. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
What gave you this idea to come up with a business that you're doing today? What led you to this?
This business is rooted in about 40 years of experience, which basically comes from my father, who was one of the founding fathers of printing, commercial printing in Tanzania over 40 years ago. So I essentially grew up with being exposed to the industry of printing, promotional items, all sorts of different products that come out of printing. And I personally decided to take the path of graphic design as I was growing up in high school, and eventually I went for further education for graphic design. After I had attained my college education, I had worked for an agency in the US. Yeah.
You started off working for an agency.
Yes.
And then what led you to decide, no, I want to go it alone, and do the family business?
I had seen that eventually home is home, and I wanted to be close to my family and be with my father as well in his business, and that there are pluses and minuses to working for someone and to having your own business. Obviously having your own business comes with a lot of responsibility. You have to manage all kinds of different responsibilities, from marketing, finance, administration. So I guess you have that urge to take these steps and to take the risks and see what pans out in the future. And we thank God that things worked out well, and I'm happy with those decisions.
People want to become self-employed, and you've managed to keep going since you started in this business. Being an entrepreneur, and you say there's advantages and disadvantages, but for you, what are the advantages that you've seen throughout the experience of the 15 years you've had so far?
Well, the advantages is seeing through the decisions that you make. So for example, you come up with ideas, you come up with different products and services, and in your mind you feel that really this is going to do well and go well. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and to take it through to success takes a long time, especially in a third world country like this, where if you have sort of advanced ideas, it takes time to convince people towards your services, towards your products, and eventually with that convincing, it takes a lot of convincing in the local market that no, this kind of service and this value-added product will work for you. In the beginning, I found there to be a lot of challenges for people to accept that, to pay for it as well. But later on, with a few examples and a few success stories, I think people began to say, okay, this service, this professional level of service really brings a lot of advantages to any business.
How do you assess the market right now? It's very competitive. I know it's not just the local Tanzanians who are into this business, but there are also foreigners, especially from neighboring Kenya and Uganda. They're coming to the country in this business. How challenging is it now?
We are really here for the benefit of the client, and saying that means delivering on time, producing the products within the right cost that's required. So wherever there is competition, we have tried to see how can we adjust ourselves and improve ourselves in order to deliver and be something of value and standing out in the market. So competition is very healthy, I can say.
The issue of skill, getting the right people, because this is, you have to be very innovative, you have to be very creative in this business, you have to be on top of everything, because always new things coming up in this business. So how do you go about doing this?
Well, we have to keep in touch with what's going on, all the new technologies, all the different new ways of doing things, as well as constantly seeing how you can maintain the cost of your products and services. That's very important. People are not willing to pay even the slightest bit more for your product if they can get it elsewhere. The main pillar of our success is the service that we provide, because it's really personally driven. We really show a personal care towards the delivery of that service.
What sort of challenges, though, do you face in a business like yours? Is capital an issue?
Capital is definitely an issue, as with any business. Importation here in Tanzania is a major headache, if you ask me, and it.
Why is it? Why?
Well, the whole importation process, the procedures at the port, the issues with the clearance that I think every importer will face. It's really a challenge. Anytime we import anything, it's always a week or two of high stress, because having to deal with that process. That's another problem. Another problem would be the lack of skilled labor, the lack of professionals here. So we ourselves have taken very raw staff, very raw employees, and trained them up. But there's only so much of that you can do as you grow. So it really limits our growth. Many a times we have to go back and retrain.
For somebody who's thinking of starting up a business like yours, what are the most important things that they must do to be able to do that business and to stay on top of that business?
Well, the understanding of the business itself, what it technically requires, is very important, because it's such a business that it relies on various machinery, relies on various processes, various softwares, and if one is out of place, the whole delivery, the whole product suffers. Second is obviously the finance for it. You can start at a small scale and grow. There's definitely ways to do that. It's definitely an industry in which you can do that. And thirdly is to believe in what this industry does and what it can do for someone else, and to have a passion for it, because it's a very deadline driven industry. You can get someone to come and say, I need this tomorrow, and you can't say no. So you need to be ready for that sort of situation. You need energy, passion, good administration, good planning.
When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do, and what is the last thing that you do before you go to sleep?
The first thing that I do as a believer in God is to pray. Definitely to wake up, to thank God for the blessings, and to seek help from Him for the day that is to come. I mean, there's no other better source of seeking help and getting that energy. And it helps to align the mind and the body in the right way. So that's what I do the first thing in the morning. At the end of the day, I think it's just to review the day, what took place, how far have I reached, what did I do, what went right, what went wrong. So that assessment, I think, is something that happens at the end of the day, and also to plan for the next day. Yeah.
Okay, so in Tanzania, for those who are thinking of venturing into such a business, do you see that there are opportunities for those who have studied creative design, graphics, that kind of stuff? There are opportunities in Tanzania right now.
Well, the opportunities are a bit limited to the extent that the education doesn't train anyone to practically apply it beyond being an employee. So the education, for example, studying graphic design, will take you to the point where you can work for someone and be a designer, and I think you can or help assist in production. I think that's the next step, that one has to work at a company that's doing what we do for at least some time and see what it entails. As I said before, it's quite a detailed operation that needs a lot of experience. Yeah.
Unilever is a fast-moving consumer goods company. In Tanzania, we have both the tea business, Unilever Tea, and the consumer business, Unilever Tanzania Limited. And we employ about 7,000 people in Tanzania, both in the tea business and the consumer business. I'm sure almost everybody has at least one or two Unilever products in their homes. We manufacture Blue Band, we manufacture Royco, we manufacture Omo, Sunlight, Vaseline. So there's a whole broad spectrum of products that Unilever manufactures and services Tanzanian consumers' needs with. In particular, I'd like to speak about Omo today. We just launched a new Omo. We improved the formulation for Omo, so we have a new improved product. We changed the packaging, and the new product, now the big thing about this new Omo is that it removes stains very fast. It's the fastest stain removing detergent in the market, and it's also very gentle on your hands, and we've also improved the fragrance in the product, so we now have a longer lasting fragrance in the product, which means it leaves your clothes smelling fresh and nice all day long. It's the fastest detergent in the market, and that's the message that we wanted to communicate to consumers. Our biggest, obviously our target audience is mothers and their children, and we know that children like to play a lot with their friends, and play is good for children. This is how they develop their bodies, this is how they learn to socialize with other people, to share, to grow. So play is important, but sometimes with play, children come back home very dirty. When they go home and when they go and play football with their friends in school, and they come back, sometimes they come back with their clothes very dirty. And for mothers, therefore, play also becomes an association of something negative because they have the stains to take care of. And what we're saying at Omo is that is good. That you can give your children the opportunity to go out and play, socialize, grow, teach themselves a few things without worrying about the stains, because we've given you a product that enables you to remove stains from your clothes very fast. There is no need to soak your clothes overnight. It's gentle on your hands, and it leaves your the clothes smelling really good. So mothers, please allow your children to go out and play and grow, because we now have a product for you that's going to make your life much, much easier.
Well, that's it from me, Yvonne Msemembo. Until next week, same time, it's goodbye from Business Edition.
Since 2010, we've been exploring for natural gas up to 100 kilometres off the coast of southern Tanzania. Operating in waters around 2 kilometres deep, one of the most modern vessels of its type, equipped with the latest in satellite and drilling technology, has been drilling gas-bearing rocks up to 4 kilometres beneath the seafloor. At these extreme depths, the gas is trapped in reservoirs, some as large as 180 square kilometres. Wells drilled into the rock release the gas, giving it a path to flow. We've made multiple discoveries, with more exploration and testing to be done. Extracting the gas and bringing it to shore is technically challenging, complex and costly, involving multi-billion-dollar investment. The plan is for gas to flow up through wellheads and then along 100 kilometres of subsea pipelines on the ocean floor, up the continental shelf, then onto shore. Once on land, a portion of the new gas reserves will go towards meeting demand for energy in Tanzania. Where existing and potentially new gas supply and power generation is available, the gas could be used to cool and light homes, cook meals and to power vehicles, industries and factories. At the onshore processing plant, the gas will be cleaned and cooled in huge refrigeration units, known as liquefaction trains. At a temperature of -160 degrees Celsius, the gas becomes a liquid, commonly known as liquefied natural gas, or LNG. The LNG process substantially reduces the volume of the gas, similar to shrinking a football to the size of a marble. This makes the gas easier to transport safely to customers around the world in specially designed ships. The gas is then shipped and sold abroad, with revenue coming back to Tanzania. This new high-technology industry offers Tanzania the opportunity to develop its natural gas reserves, diversifying and expanding the country's economy, attracting support businesses and creating jobs. An LNG export project could significantly boost government revenues, providing funds with the potential to transform Tanzania's social and economic development. We've made a good start, but much work is still to be done. Early engineering and studies on potential environmental, social and economic impacts are underway. A decision to proceed could come at the earliest in 2016. All going well, the project could deliver first production early in the next decade, establishing Tanzania as a leader in the emerging East Africa natural gas province.